Today is March 23rd, 2023, and I am going to read you a post that I wrote on March 23rd, 2021, so just 2 years ago. And it's kind of funny because, we are leaving on a road trip pretty soon. And my daughter is, and she's not even asking about snacks or anything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the most important part. Anyway, okay, here it goes. This is called Road Trip. So many people were going stir crazy after a couple months of hibernating during the COVID stay-at-home order in 2020 that they ventured out in RVs and SUVs traveling the country. I was envious and wished that my family could go on a road trip. Yes, you read that correctly. When I talk about road trips, I always add an exclamation point at the end of road trip. Because for me, I always think of them as an opportunity for undivided fun. It's my belief that for the amount of work that one must do in order to get into a car and drive to a destination, it would behoove us to have fun. There is so much that goes into a road trip, especially for all the type A's out there. I have no concept of winging it, or I have a hard time figuratively grasping crossing that bridge when we get to it. After all, I was also a Girl Scout. I'll share with you a few of my very own personal rules that apply for our current road trips. Rule number 1, pack appropriate clothes. Packing takes me so long. I am an overthinker when it comes to packing because the factors that make clothes appropriate can be some or all of the following. A, clothes for the weather. B, clothes for the activities or events while on the trip. C, I really avoid overpacking. Too many choices makes it harder for me to get ready quickly. D, underpacking makes me needy, and then I have to rely on others to bail me out. E, my undergarments should coordinate with the clothes that I'm bringing. And last but not least, F, I have to know my audience. You won't catch me wearing Broncos gear to a Raiders event. We just got back from Sartell, Minnesota, where we went to the regional hockey tournaments for my son's team. I packed the perfect amount of appropriate clothes, but forgot a workout bra. That put a wrench in how things played out for me, but I managed and I was pretty proud of how I handled the mishap. You better believe the workout bra was the first thing I packed for the next road trip, which happened to be hours after we got back from Sartell. Rule number 2, I make sure the car is in tip-top shape to drive for miles and miles. I always worry about breaking down somewhere in no man's land because it has happened to me twice when I was fresh out of college. Rule number 3, I pack enough snacks and drinks to last till the first pit stop. Then whatever we lack, we can surely make up with junk that we pick up as we get gas and use the bathroom. I always bring whatever leftovers that might expire before we get back. I try to push them onto the passengers. My thought is if there are no takers and I have to toss it out, it was worth the effort. Most of the time the leftovers do get eaten because as fun as it is to eat gas station snacks, sometimes the leftovers come in handy to settle the empty calorie hunger that usually creeps up. Rule number 4, I decide what should be disposable and what should be reusable. I used to bring my own water bottles to save the planet, but on a road trip, it was getting more cumbersome to clean them out during the trip, to fill them up with a gallon jug of water, and to keep track of the reusable water bottles. So I have given up on doing my part while on a road trip. I have a better chance of winning the lottery than I do coming home from a road trip with both kids' reusable water bottles. Rule number 5, in the car, I talk about things that normally don't get brought up at home. On our round trip drive to Sartell, my kids and I discussed friendships, fights, bullying, education goals, addiction, and racism. Really loaded subjects, but lightly talked about, and guess what? I didn't even start the combos. On our drive from Minneapolis to Omaha, the kids and I discussed drinking, drugs, vaping, reputations, and again, friendships. I am checking things off the list that I have been meaning to talk about, and I'm not even the one bringing up the topics. It has been magical. Plus, it saved them from being on their devices the whole time. Rule number 6, I have audiobooks ready to go if needed. I love the Harry Potter CDs that we would listen to on round trip school rides. I miss doing that so much. With long drives, audiobooks are so awesome. Bonus is having book discussions. Rule number 7, I try to eat local food in whatever city area that we visit. As comforting as it is to eat from a national chain, I love to eat and support local businesses. Having recommendations from friends is key, but asking someone who lives local or Yelping is always great too. Rule number 8, I am trying to use this road trip as a culmination of many opportunities to teach life lessons. With National Common Courtesy Day so recent, I showed my daughter that after I grabbed a paper towel from myself, I waved my hand to get the paper towel ready for her to easily grab. It's tricky with COVID precaution, but courtesy can still be achieved. Other things like keeping track of their things when in a hotel and how to put the water bottles in the recycling bin and not in the trash can. We checked into the hotel when we were at in Omaha, and we had runza, which is local there. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at all these pictures of the runza food. Following my rule number 7, my friend Penny, who knows I'm a foodie, turned us onto runza. She said it wouldn't disappoint, and she was so right. The original runza sandwich has ground beef, onions, and cabbage baked into fresh bread. The ratio of the ingredients make it work well for our taste buds. All so good. And add frings, which is fries and onion rings, and you're all set. Then there's a picture of my dog Grady. Photo of Grady somewhere in Iowa. This is my first time road tripping with a dog. It has been pretty easy with this guy. He loves being with us. While we're in the car for road trips, we're not running around being busy. When we're in the car for road trips, we're not running around being busy. The long rides are pockets of undivided attention, which is why I like car rides with my kids too. Then I have a picture of my chili cheese Fritos that I love so much. I love them. And then I brought along with me some white chocolate Reese's peanut butter cups. And then I showed the picture of the Dots bag, because how can you take a road trip without Dots? So as a thoughtful pinch, I meant to bring a new unopened bag of these pretzels to my Mill and Sil, who are currently visiting Denver. But miscommunication, we are now bringing 2 opened bags. I like turning people onto these Midwestern gems. I hope they like it. Wish us luck. We have 8.5 hours of actual drive time left on our road trip before we hit our real destination. I have been loving my time with the kids, even though the stress to get us on the way was enormous. We're eating every meal out and we're living out of suitcases. It will definitely be a memorable road trip. Pinches.